Harper Audio presents The Home Place by Carrie La Seur, performed by Andrus Nichols. Our native land charms us with inexpressible sweetness, and never allows us to forget that we belong to it. Latin. Nescio qua natale solum dulcedine captos ducit, et immemores non sinit esse sui. Ovid, Epistulae Exponto, 1:3-35. Chapter 1. Sunday, 2 a.m., Mountain Standard Time. The cold on a January night in Billings, Montana is personal and spiritual. It knows your weaknesses. It communicates with your fears. If you have a God, this cold pulls a veil between you and your deity. It gets you alone in a place where it can work at you. If you're white, especially from the old families, the cold speaks to you of being isolated and undefended on the infinite homestead plains. It sounds like wolves and reverberates like drums in all the hollow places where you wonder who you are and what you would do in extremis. In this cold, you understand at last that you are not brave at all. If you're Indian, a Crow or Cheyenne off the res, maybe, a Shoshone, Hidatsa, Assiniboine, one of the humbled peoples of an unforgiving land, the cold will sound different, but still, it knows your name. It has no mercy for you, no matter how long and intimate its relationship with your mothers and fathers. You of all people ought to know that it is a killer. How many of your relatives has it taken? More than wars and car crashes? Do your fingers and toes tingle in the cold because of some childhood frostbite, before you learned to cover up, or when the power company turned off the juice and your little back got pushed up hard against the cold rock of winter? A woman in her mid-20s, too thin, with long, loose brown hair and smudged pink lipstick, has just stumbled out into the darkest, earliest hour of Sunday morning. Her hair needs a trim, a good brushing wouldn't hurt, and her eyes have settled into a distrustful squint at an early age. Every so often her lips come together in an expression that looks for a second as if she's about to complain about her bunions and a late Social Security check. Up close, her eyes can show a twinkling purple shade like northern lights, but to strangers they reveal nothing but mute, defiant gray. The length of her nose and width of her face evoke Gibson girl prints, an old-fashioned beauty that wants elaborate hair and clothes to set it off. It hangs on her like an unkempt garment, ready to cast off soon enough as age and fatigue shred its fibers. The woman's walk is stiff, even with her impaired condition. The prosthesis on her left leg moves mechanically, its knee joint rolling in a steel socket, supporting her well enough but not quite creating the illusion that there is a whole, real leg under her tight stonewashed jeans. The pointy-toed cowboy boots don't improve her gait. She weaves a little and burps. She fumbles in a heavy, stained canvas shoulder bag for a pack of Marlboro Reds that turns out to be empty. She's forgotten her coat. Since much earlier in the evening, so early that most of the partygoers have passed out, she's been getting stoned and drunk in the barely furnished living room of a 1920s two-bedroom bungalow a few blocks south of the tracks. She's been staying there with a fat alcoholic Pole named Garfield Kaczynski, after the Montana county where he was born. He's not her boyfriend, she tells people.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?